Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. I just realized I'm looking at myself here. I forgot to take my glasses off. I'm starting off great, guys. It's Sunday morning, last day of summer, and I will probably spend the last day of summer here inside my workshop. That's okay because I really hate the hot, humid weather. I spend a lot of my summer days down here with the air conditioner. Actually, it's a very nice day out there. It's like around, I don't know, 62 degrees, and there's really not much humidity. But anyway, this is where I'm probably going to be today. I was at the art show yesterday. I live in a small town called Setauket here on Long Island. So on the North Shore of Long Island, right next to Stony Brook. And they had the Gallery North art gallery here in Setauket had their annual art show. And the grandchildren bought a dragon made from a 3D print. And so they were down here yesterday painting their 3D printed dragons. So, but it's Sunday morning now, and going to show you the Del Rey. I'm all set. I've got my Nespresso coffee here. I'm ready to work on my Del Rey. So, if you will recall in the last video, okay, I showed this rear quarter panel right here, right? And I had a mess on my hands. So I redid it, and it came out looking really pretty good. All right. And for anybody that perhaps did not see that last video, I'll be brief on this because I don't want to bore the people who did see the video. I had a little bit of overspray. You can see that I like to do my engine compartments in flat black. That's just something that I do with almost every build. I make the engine compartment flat black. So what happened was I taped off the area. Well, really, I taped all around the car, and I shot the flat black. And somehow or another, I must have had a seam. Something was not sealed properly, and I got a little bit of black overspray on this rear quarter panel, okay? I don't know how I got wound up there on the rear quarter panel, but it was there. So what I did is I sanded it and decided to reprime it and then shoot it with the Kaleido Diamond White, which is what I use to paint the entire car. These are all Kaleido colors on this car, except for the flat black. Okay, the flat black is Vallejo flat black because I did not have a flat black in the Kaleido colors. Here's the thing, you know, when you do this, when you do anything for a period of time, you kind of get into habits without thinking about it. So when it came time to prime this area again, I just, without thinking, grabbed an aerosol can of Mr. Hobby White Primer, which is a lacquer primer, okay? And of course, the Kaleido paints are acrylic. And I had a reaction. The Kaleido paint did not like the lacquer primer from Mr. Hobby. It started to wrinkle up and bubble and so forth. So I had to strip that and start over again. And when I did, I went over that with the proper primer. I used the Kaleido primer. And by the way, my friend Charlie Haig, I hope I'm getting your last name correct, Charlie. If I didn't, I apologize. Anyway, Charlie sent me a message asking me if this was completely water-based. He wanted to know if there was any urethane in it. And from what I can see here on the instructions, okay, this is completely water-based. All right, there's no urethane in this. So if you want to pause this and read this, okay, you know, you'll see all the information that you need for using this primer, okay? But it looks like it's completely water-based, no urethane. Okay, so anyway, that's what I did. Now, I'm ready to, I had some other problems with this, and I'll go over that with you later on. And the problems that I had, all right, I'll go over them with you now. The problems that I had in addition to that were completely my own, all right? Now, I have mentioned in the past, you should take your time, be patient, go slow with your builds, okay? And pretty much, I didn't listen to my own advice. I tried to move things along. I tried to do some shortcuts, and you know what? Those things come back to bite you. So I'll tell you what my problems were. All right, so I dealt with the original problem that I just showed you, okay? It came out great. Now, in order to shoot this, I had to tape off this blue area down here, okay? And I'm losing my car. I've been having problems with this holder. I don't know what it is with this particular holder. I should switch holders. It keeps jumping off of here. So I taped off the blue. And I guess I did not burnish it well enough because I got bleed. I got white here that bled down into the blue, okay? So I took the tape off, found the bleed, and I had to reverse the process. I had to tape the white and reshoot the blue. So I had to sand it, of course, before that. And I ran primer over that, and then I reshot it with the blue. And if you've been following, you know that I'm using the Kaleido Rally Sport Blue. Okay, so it did that. And, all right, two things happened, all right? I tried to be a wise guy, and what I did was I ran the tape along here, and I ran it so it was sticking up. All right, instead of taping off this entire back area, my genius thinking was, okay, well, if I just have the tape sticking up like a wall, that should be sufficient if I'm only shooting down in here. All right, now I should have known better because I was shooting the black in here and wound up with overspray all the way back here. All right, but Papa was being a dunderhead, so I wound up with overspray, blue overspray getting back here on the trunk. All right, so now I had to deal with that. And I'm going to admit it, okay? I was a little annoyed, and I've always said, don't build mad, all right? And I should have stepped away. But I wasn't happy, and I kind of ran over this blue color rather quickly. The result of that was I had paint that started to kind of pool down here. It kind of ran down and pooled down in here. So now I had two messes, all right? I had overspray here, and I had a messy paint job here. It doesn't pay to be impatient because my impatience led to a lot more time fixing boo-boos that were created by my impatience. So I had to sand this down and reshoot this. I had to sand all of this, reshoot that. So, you know, again, just an awful lot of effort from not being patient. Now, I could have very simply showed this quarter panel and said, yep, it's fixed and it looks great, and left it at that. But I am admitting to all of my dunderhead boo-boos on this for one reason. And I'm really speaking more to the beginners now than the more experienced people. You more experienced folks, you know, I'm sure you realize this. But for the beginners, you know, it really does not pay you dividends to try to shortcut things. Be patient, go slowly, and take a look at what you're doing. I have mentioned in the past, years and years ago, I used to do oil painting. And in the process of oil painting, what you do is you stop an awful lot of the time to just simply look, okay? And then you go back and you do this area or you do that area, okay? And the same thing holds true with your model. Pause every once in a while. Take a look at what you have. And really, it'll pay you dividends in the end. Okay, so enough of my dunderhead moves on this, okay? So what I'm going to do today with this is I think I'm going to shoot this with the gloss varnish. All right, you still have a little bit of a shine on this, just straight from the bottle. Okay, most acrylics come out just like this. Can you see that flat black color right there? There's no shine whatsoever. Okay, and that's how most acrylics will come out. They will come out flat. So you do get a bit of a shine with this, but I'm going to shine it up even more. I'm going to shoot this with the Kaleido gloss varnish. Now, my understanding is if you add a little bit of the thinner to the gloss varnish, that will help with a glossy shine. So we're going to add a couple of drops of thinner, even though this is said to be an RTU, which stands for ready to use, RTU. All right. This is the Kaleido paint. I think this is the Twilight Purple, all right, on a test spoon. And it was shot with this gloss varnish using just a little bit of their thinner. And when I say a little bit, I mean maybe 2 drops, okay? That's all I used. And you get a really nice gloss finish. Can you see that? Let me turn this light on. See if that'll help. Okay, can you see that? You get a really nice shine with that. All right, so that is Kaleido's gloss varnish. When I first got the Kaleido paints in, I did some experimentation, and I used 2K Clear. In fact, the 2K Clear that I use most of the time is the Ammo by MIG 2K Clear. All right, and I tried it on the Kaleido paint, and the Kaleido paint and the 2K Clear did not like each other. Can you see that orange peel on there? All right, I'm trying to hold this up in such a way that you can really see that. And by the way, I don't think the camera picked up this quarter panel when I showed it to you in the last video. All right, that's what this quarter panel looked like. It looked like this. All right, see how that's all kind of beaded up and shriveled and so forth. That's what that quarter panel looked like to a lesser extent. The camera just, I don't think, picked it up, but that's what I had on my hands. Anyway, so this is 2K Clear on the Kaleido. Did not mix. The Kaleido varnish with the Kaleido paint gives you that. Okay, so that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to go back into the workshop. Let me see. I got a couple of other things here I want to mention before we get back there. I had a gentleman ask me a question. I don't remember if he sent me an email or if it was in the comments section here on the channel, or it could have even been on my Facebook page. I don't know. But Rodney Noble 452, well, it wasn't really a question. It was more of a statement. And he had said that, he watches a lot of YouTube videos for model building and so forth. And he was impressed by a lot of the great work some of the YouTube model builders do, which, of course, there are some great model builders out there. Jeff from JD Scale Models, let me tell you something. He just started his channel, and he's a very good model builder. But anyway, the guy that I want to mention, if you are really looking for out-of-the-box ways of building, A4 Garage. Excuse me, getting a frog in my throat. I have some more of my Nespresso coffee here. I get the chocolate coffee. If you have a Nespresso machine, try out their chocolate. I don't remember what the capsule is called. I think it's just called Rich Chocolate. Anyway, it's great. I love it. Okay, anyway, A4 Garage on YouTube. Now, this guy, I think I've mentioned him in the past. This guy's not just simply a model builder. He's a model engineer. This guy's phenomenal. I have learned a lot by watching his channel, so check it out, A4 Garage. Also, Mark Sorensen asked me if I would do a review on the Gallery Swallowtail airbrush. So, yep, I will do that, Mark. I'm really not going to do that in today's video, but I will get to that, I promise. What else do we have here? Oh, my friend Ken over at Model Building in Retirement. First of all, he got a sponsor, so congratulations. That's awesome. And also, he sent me a message a little while ago. I asked him, are you going to participate in the USAC group build? And he sent a message back saying, nah, I don't really get into group builds, so I'm probably not going to do that. Well, I saw in his last video that he is indeed jumping into the USAC group build. So way to go, Ken. Good deal. What else do we have here? Oh, speaking of the USAC group build, I can't get my throat straightened out. I want to thank Jason at Blue Ox Models. I didn't know when the USAC group build began. So anyway, he responded to my question regarding that, and he told me that the USAC group build started on September 15th, which was just a few days ago, and it ends on March 15th, 2026. So Jason at Blue Ox, thanks so much for answering my question. And by the way, Jason just uploaded a video where he is planning on doing a jet fighter, okay, a jet fighter plane, all right, which is a little bit different if you're a regular builder of cars or trucks or whatnot. So that's a nice change. And in fact, I'm going to tell you what, Jason, hang on one second. I'm gonna join you in that, but it's not going to be a jet fighter. I'm going to go with this guy right here, a biplane. So I don't know when exactly I'll get to this because I have a few things in the pipeline, but I do have one plane, and I like these old things. That's why I've got so many of these kinds of cars in my stash. I like these old classic builds, and I've got a whole section over here. You probably can't see it, but I've got a whole section of old classic cars over there. So I figured, okay, that's the kind of plane I'll build, an old classic biplane. So I will get to that eventually. Okay, what else have we got here? And by the way, I know that Jason was having problems getting into his seat at his workbench because his cat Jonesy curled up in his seat and took a nap. Yeah, those things happen. I have Maggie all the time down here, but she's got her own dog bed. But what she does do is she goes upstairs in the den and she curls up in my recliner chair in the den. So I end up on the couch sometimes. The things that we do for our pets, right? So anyway, okay, I think that'll kind of do it for some of the housekeeping I have here. And of course, regarding the Kaleido paints and the gallery airbrushes and all of their equipment, if you go to their website, and I finally figured out how to put the link in my descriptions here on the channel. I'm slowly figuring these things out. But if you go to gallery and purchase anything, there is Papa's Model Workshop discount code right there in red. So anything you buy, you will get 10% off. Pretty awesome, okay? And if you want a shop card, speaking of shop cards, there is my email address, all right? And I'll send you out a shop card if you want one. If you're already a content creator and you want to swap shop cards, there is my mailing address right there, okay? And I'll be happy to swap shop cards with you. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I said that without getting tongue-tied. Swap shop cards. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's head back. Oh, by the way, I keep saying let's head back, and then I go off into another direction. But I promise this is going to be the last thing, okay? I don't remember if I showed you the Peterbilt wrecker. I've been talking so much about the Del Rey that I, still get back to the Peterbilt wrecker. Well, here's where I'm at on the Peterbilt wrecker. I may have showed this in the last video. I can't remember, so I apologize if I did. And this is getting a little bit of patina and weathering. You can see the rust that I'm getting on there and so forth. Okay, and underneath here, I got some rusty areas. All right, so here I'll show you the other side here. Okay. And yeah, I think that's coming along okay. So I'm not an expert in patina or, you know, weathering, but I really kind of enjoy doing that. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to do that more often, I think. So anyway, this time I promise we're going to go back to the workshop this time. Okay, so I'll see you back there. Okay, gang, we finally made it back here to the workshop. We're here at the paint bench, and as I mentioned, we're going to go with the acrylic. No, that's primer. No, I don't want primer. I want to go with the gloss varnish. Here we go. Gloss varnish. Okay, there it is. Set the primer aside. We certainly don't want to shoot that car with primer. So our Kaleido gloss varnish, and I'm just going to add a little bit of thinner, and I'm going to mix this whole thing up in a little mixing cup. All right. And by the way, speaking of these mixing cups, I got to tell you, let me move this out of the way a second. Hang on, guys, because this is a great value, I think. These are the mixing cup that you just saw, all right? I got this whole big box, all right? Do you see this right down here? You get 1,800 of them, all right? I got this on Amazon. 1,800 of these, all right? That cost me $31.99, all right? In, you know, round figures, 32 bucks. All right. But 1,800 of these things, that is great. I think it's great. Got that on Amazon. All right. And we're going to measure out our gloss varnish with my little pipette. Now, this is the one thing, and shake this well, by the way, which is what I'm doing here off camera, shaking it well. The one thing, about this is that you can't just reach in. Well, I guess you can, right? Yeah, all right, well, all right. I was going to complain about something here, but it seems like it works okay. And I'm going to put in 2 ounces, or 2 milliliters rather, and then another 2 milliliters, all right? So I'm going to go with 4. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with 6, all right? I've got 6 milliliters, all right? And the thing that I was going to kind of complain about was this nozzle right here, but doing it the way I just did it, I guess that doesn't come into play, so it doesn't matter. All right, so we're going to set that aside, and then I'm going to add just like 2 drops of this, and in this case we will use the dropper. All right, 1, 2. You know what? I went with 6 milliliters. I think I'll add a third. Okay, come on, there you go. So I've got 6 milliliters of the gloss varnish, all right? And I'm going to mix that up, all right? And then 3 drops of the thinner. So I guess the ratio would come out to 1 drop for every 2 milliliters. All right, so let's head over to the spray booth and let's do this. Okay, guys, we're here at the paint booth, and here is our Del Rey. Here is our gloss varnish, all mixed. I'm going to go with a Gallery Swallowtail. Now, Mark Sorensen asked me to do a review on this, and well, you know, I decided, okay, you know what, maybe I'll just shoot the gloss varnish with the Swallowtail. Okay, so I've got a 0.7 needle in here, as you can see. I am running at about 20 psi on the compressor, and if you're interested, this is my mixture or procedures for the Kaleido gloss varnish. It pays you dividends to write these things down for anything that you do, okay? You know, and then it gives you a point of reference, you know, when you go back to it in the future, okay? So there you go. You can pause this and write this down if you want. Again, this is just my way of doing it. So there you go, all right? So let's get this into the airbrush, all right? And we will be ready to go with this. All right. And as is my usual procedure, we want to give a quick test shot to make sure everything is working properly. Okay, let's go. All right, keep this moving. You experienced people out there with the airbrush, you know that. So when I give little bits of instruction like that, I'm really speaking more to the beginners. And I'll tell you, what I really should have done, which I forgot to do, is if I want this to be a flat black color, I should have taped this off. So I didn't, I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna try to go over this without hitting that area. Right, trying to avoid that black area. So again, Papa is being a dunderhead. Now I'm going to pause here for 1 second. I just want to point out something to you, okay? You may or may not have noticed this. I don't know if the camera is really picking it up, but I'm going to point it out to you. You see like a little area like this where this blue kind of rides up over the white, okay? Even here. I'm not worried about that. When I taped this, I did that in such a way where it wasn't really fully squared up here. And the reason I did that is because I know that I'm going to be coming along here with bare metal foil. So I'm not worried about that. That's going to get covered up. So let's put another coat on here. That gave me a good opportunity to pause because I just wanted to pause between passes here. And I started out with a light mist coat. Okay. And now I'm coming back again and I'm pressing down on the trigger a little bit more. I'm coming in just a bit closer. So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm starting out with a light mist coat, and as I progress, I'm going to put in a little bit of a wetter coat. And hopefully this will come out with a nice shine. All right. You can't see any hint of blue back here. This is where I got that blue overspray that I spoke of before. If you look right down, and I don't think the camera is picking it up, but in the seam here, okay, you can still see a very, faint bit of blue in there. I'm not worried about that either, because the plan is to go in there with black panel liner. And the black panel liner that I use, now you could do one of two things here. The more standard approach to panel lining is to use the Tamiya black panel liner. Good product, it works excellent, all right? But what I do is I use the Speedball black acrylic ink. Right? Now, underline the word acrylic, because this will be, in my opinion, a little bit easier to clean up boo-boos, all right? If I'm using an acrylic on an acrylic, this, will clean up boo-boos a little bit easier, in my opinion. And this I usually thin 1:1. I'll go over that with you in another video, but this is my plan to use this. And what I do is I use a calligraphy pen. All right. Remember the little plastic cup that I just showed you? Well, I put this into the medicine cup and I mix it 1:1 with water. That's all I use, just water. All right. And then with the calligraphy pen, I can get right into the panel lines, and it works very nicely. And then any boo-boos that I get, again, because it's an acrylic, it's much easier to clean up. I am sealing this first with the gloss varnish, because once this is sealed, it makes it easier to clean up boo-boos. All right. That's why I'm doing the gloss varnish first. And then the next step will be either the bare metal foil or the panel liner. One of those two will be next, all right? But the first thing I want to do is get this gloss varnish on here. Now, I want to do the bare metal foil after the gloss varnish, because if you put on the bare metal foil first and then shoot this with the gloss varnish, it will dull the bare metal foil, all right? So, at least in my opinion. I'm going to give this another shot here. All right. I think I'm doing a pretty good job missing that flat black in the engine compartment. I think I am. Okay, and so we got a nice shine on there now. So let's throw this into the dehydrator, and we will check the progress of this in about a half an hour. Okay, hang on. Okay, we're in the dehydrator. Okay, and I'm gonna set this at 120 for a half an hour, and in a half an hour that should be done, and hopefully we will have a nice even shine on this Del Rey. Yesterday this was filled up with dragons. All right, the grandchildren Adam and Liam got 3D printed dragons from the outdoor art show here in Setauket. If you saw my Facebook page from yesterday, you'll see us all at the outdoor art show, and they came back and they sat at the paint bench where we just were, and they painted their dragons, and then it all went in here. So this was filled with dragons yesterday. Today we're back with our Del Rey. Okay, so let me pause this, and I'll get back to you after this has gone through the dehydrator. Okay, gang, the dehydrator is all through with the 56 Del Rey. So there we go. All right, and yeah, we've got a nice shine on this. Not too shabby. I would have to say that I am pleased. All right. Not too bad. All right, looking pretty good. All right, so I'll tell you, with that, I think we're going to wrap this video up, because, again, I have run over a half an hour. The last couple of videos, I didn't do such a bad job. I think I ended those videos up in less than 20 minutes, but this one we ran kind of long again, so I'm going to wrap this up. So in the next video, I will decide whether I'm going to do the bare metal foil or the panel lining. There we go. There it is. Okay, with the calligraphy pen. All right, so I will figure out what I will do next after this. So with that, I will wrap this video up. And by the way, here's the engine. Get this out of the way. There we go. hang on. Now remember, this is for the Assemblers United group build, sponsored by Shaggy's Awesome Garage and Link's Scale Model. And the theme for this build, okay, is so that we do a box stock. All right. And so this is not going to be wired. Really, this is in the theme of sticking with box stock. This is really kind of be it on this engine. So anyway, that's the engine. All right. And there is our Del Rey. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So as usual, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of my subscribers. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are on the Facebook side watching this, jump over to YouTube, find Papa's Model Workshop on YouTube, and hit the subscribe button and give me a like too, okay? And I will see you all in the next video.